It's the perfect game when there's not many people around.
Hi everyone.
Hey everyone, in this video, I'm going to teach you how to play Uno dice game, the dice version of the hit card game. Here, you simply match colors, numbers, or play an action die, and when you have one die left, don't forget to shout Uno. So this game is solely built to be a two-player game only, which means it's the perfect game when there's not many people around. Also, the contents is pretty simple. You get 11 dice and instructions, if I can get them out, of course. That's one hard thing when you buy games that are in containers like this. There's Uno dice game, and there's another one that I have, Apples to Apples dice game. I'm pretty sure there's a couple of others, but I can't remember what they are. So there we go. Now, let's roll it. To set things up, each player takes 5 dice. This will leave one die in the center of the table and will be used to start the game. Then each player will roll one of their own dice. The player that rolls the highest number goes first for the round. If anyone rolls a symbol, treat it as a 0. Now you'll roll all 5 of your dice and leave them in front of you. For the sake of this video, I went ahead and preemptively set the dice as shown, so just pretend that these dice here were already rolled. So then one player rolls the extra die and sets it in the middle of the play area. If that roll is not a number, keep re-rolling it until a number is shown. When it's your turn, you must match a die from your hand to the die in the play area and form what is called the dice line. So let's see, this is a red 2, so I can match it with this green 2 if I want to. When you form the dice line, you can go from top to bottom or left to right. For this video, I'm going to go from top to bottom, so I got a matching 2 to go with that 2 in the center, so I form it down here, and that is part of the dice line. So now let's go to my opponent's turn over here. And let's just say that if my opponent does not have a die that matches the one on the dice line, or they choose not to play any of their playable dice from their hand, then they must draw a die from the back of the dice line. So going from top to bottom, they would take this one right here, then they would have to re-roll all of their dice. If one of their dice can be played, then they may put it down on the same turn. Otherwise, it is back to the other player's turn. Let's go over the action dice. This one on the left is called Draw 1. When you play this die, the next player must draw one die from the back of the dice line, then re-roll all of their dice and skip their turn. This die may only be played on a matching color or on another Draw 1 die. If this action gets rolled at the beginning of play, re-roll it until a non-draw roll appears. This one is Draw 2. Same as Draw 1, except you gotta draw 2 dice from the back of the dice line, and it can only be matched with its color or with another Draw 2 die. This is a wild die. When you play this die, you get to choose the color that continues play. This includes the color that was already in play beforehand. When you play your second to last die from your pile, don't forget to shout Uno, indicating that you have one die left. Because if you don't shout Uno, and your opponent catches you before they start their next turn, then you have to draw 2 dice from the back of the dice line and re-roll all of your dice. Uno dice game has one golden rule. There must always be one die in the dice line. That means 3 things. 1. When a draw 2 die is played, then that means only one die can be taken from the back of the dice line if necessary to leave die to match in the playing area. 2. If only one die is on the table and you can't match it, re-roll all of your dice once, and if you still can't match it, your turn is over. This also applies if the first player can't match the die to begin the game. 3. If a player does not shout Uno and there's only one die left in the line, then they have to take a die from their opponent's pile. Once a player has played their last die, the round is over. If the last die played is either a Draw 1 or a Draw 2 die, then the opponent must draw from the back of the dice line, if there's enough dice, and add it to their hand. The first player to get rid of all their dice in a round earns points for all the dice left in their opponent's hand as follows. Every numbered die is worth face value, so this would be 4 points. Draw 1 is worth 20 points, Draw 2 is worth 20 points, and Wild is worth 50 points. Then you just start another round again and keep playing for points. The first player to reach 200 points wins the game. To end things off, I'm going to do a few sample turns just to show you the swing of things for Uno dice game. This is player 1 and this is player 2. Let's start with player 1 with the first die of the dice line being a blue 5. I'm going to play a blue 2 to match the colors. So we're going to go from top to bottom for the dice line. Now for player 2, I'm going to play a red 2 to match number. Back to player 1, I'll play a red 1 to match color. For player 2, play a red 4 to match color. Back to player 1, I'll play a 4 to match number. Player 2, a yellow 2 to match the color. Back over to player 1, I'm going to play the draw 2 dice, and now player 2 has to take the back 2 dice of the dice line. Reroll all these, and then end their turn. Now you pretty much know how Uno dice game works. And there you go, that's Uno dice game. Maybe a little bit later down the road, I'm going to do the apples to apples dice game that I have in hand. I think the other one I'm thinking of is Phase 10 dice game. I'm not too sure, I'll have to look it up, but anyways, there you go, that's going to do it. Thanks for watching, like and subscribe for more, and don't forget to check out my gaming channel, Markis P Gaming, for video game Let's Play content. I will see you later, but until then, like always, take care.